Hey there. This is part 3 of my testimony. Getting into my teen years and probably my young adult years. I mean, I have some notes here. We went through my birth, we went through my childhood. Now we're going to my teen years and my young adult years. This is going to be probably from 15 to 19, 21. At 15, excuse me, as I got older, my mental illness, or whatever, started to kick in. I noticed having severe anxiety at night, during the winter, and during the fall. So I started having a problem with demons. I read this book that was about spiritual warfare. And rather than looking at the good side of it and thinking about the good side, I began to idolize demons. And this was when I was like 15. And I backslid a lot. my eyes. And I sort of fell into a lot of satanic, demonic stuff as a teenager. I really started to rebel. And so what I would do is I would idolize demons. I would read about demons. I would talk about demons. I would draw demons. It sounds a lot different from when I was a child. I guess, like I said, I didn't start off innocent. I started off with a lot of guilt and abuse and anger and unforgiveness and resentment. And then I passed on to life with the opposite of that, like I just said. At my teen years, I really wanted Jesus, but I wanted to be in the world and in the kingdom of heaven at the same time. And it doesn't happen that way. So at like 14, 15, my mental illness started kicking in. So I had to see, I went to special school because I had an emotional breakdown at 15 at my other school. There was a boy that had a crush on me and he wouldn't leave me alone. I had a real problem with people in my personal space. I had a real anger problem too. I was really bitter. I started to really backslide. And he would get too close. His friends would bother me. I mean, if they would not leave me alone. And that's the problem. And, sorry if I paused a couple times. It's because, I still struggle with some of my thoughts and demonic, sometimes demonic oppression. So sometimes words like thoughts, they kind of, but God is still delivering me. And it's a lifelong process, but I trust that Jesus will take me all the way. And so at 15, I've developed an obsession with demons. And they started to literally manifest in me, and they used and manifest in my life. I had severe anger problems. I broke things, I threw things, I yelled. I was hospitalized 3 times. Hospitalized at 15, hospitalized at 16. All the other 2 times I was hospitalized recently. Because, but the Holy Spirit is still doing work in me, and I will continue to keep updated about the Holy Spirit's work in me, because even though we have a testimony, He still continually works on us. And so at 15, I lost my temper, and I threw a chair at someone. The school graciously just expelled me, or they graciously just kind of expelled me, and I wasn't allowed to go back to that school again. I had a huge problem with sexual harassment and people in my personal space, and this person would not stay out of my space, and I became very triggered because I had those memories from back from being a child, and they didn't really surface, so I didn't really know. So I had anger problems, like I said. I also had a huge problem with cutting because I felt guilty. And really, I felt really condemned by my parents. And even though they didn't mean to, I just kind of felt that way. So I was rebuking the demons. I would sing to myself at night. I mean, I would see them, I would hear them, they would oppress me. There were times where I literally felt them. I had a lot of sleep paralysis where they would, I would stop breathing at night because demons would attack me and grab my throat. And the spiritual one was so real that I felt chains. I was once chained by demons. Demons tried to attack me in many ways. They would come in my nightmares. They would come in visions. They would just straight up come in the physical realm at night and attack me because I had backslid into demonic things, backslid into sort of like satanic things. I rebelled and listened to Marilyn Manson. I bought CDs I shouldn't have. Marilyn Manson, Korn. I mean, just watched like heavy rock and roll, like just like heavy satanic music. So no wonder demons came. I rarely saw them in full form. They would torment me at night, calling my name. They wouldn't let me sleep. I had a lot of, I was untreated for mental illness, and demons would basically abuse me in the same way that my grandfather had, because they had bounced off of him onto my mother, and then when she died, they bounced off onto me. So they would terrorize me, abuse me, and like demons can sexually abuse humans, can rape them, molest them, attack them in many different ways. I had a problem with astral projecting as a teenager because of the demons I had contacted. They would pull me out of my body. I would have nightmare. In the spiritual realm, they would attack me. One time, a demon basically threw me into a mirror, and I hit my head and shattered the mirror. And one time in my waking, when I was in my body, I was conscious, they would do things to try to throw me down the stairs. I mean, demons were just awful. I went through a lot of they attempted to sexually assault me many times, and this can happen, and I can show you about it, and show in the Bible where there are such things as sexual demons. So through a lot of my practices that I did, a lot of things I did, I started to contact an incubi. I had really bad lucid dreaming and just a lot of demonic activity. I don't need to go into the details, but basically I was a very rebellious teenager. And then while playing with demons, I tried to hold on to Jesus, and that didn't work. So demons would attack me even harder. I mean, the atrocities that I suffered as a teenager, and then later on as an adult, it's not really something for a public video, but for anybody who's willing to contact me over Instagram, email, if they, similar things, I'm glad to help, but the details and stuff like that is not appropriate for a video. So, at 15, hold on one second, sorry. I sort of almost, I got into a lot of heavy metal, sexuality, disobeying my parents, and, I mean, it was really hard, and I was alone a lot, so I spent a lot of time writing and praying, trying to get close to Jesus, but I was sort of different. I dressed differently. I was darker. I wanted to paint my room black once. So I really had a problem with these demons, and I didn't get rid of them for a long time. And demons were very violent. I've had demons strike me in the face. I mean, it was just their presence was just very strong, and so there was this pull back and forth for me between the enemy and God was always trying to draw me towards Him, and I kept going back to my demons. I've had a lot of involvement in demons. I used to see angels and demons fight, not very clearly, but I used to. I went into the mental health system where I was overdosed on lithium so much that I almost went into a coma. Another one where I was put on medication that made me homicidal, and that was not me. Even though I've always had an aggressive side to me, homicidal just was not me. So, there's a lot of flaws there. I also was taught the New Age system. That was disastrous. That just, New Age satanic ideologies, that just fueled the demons at the same time. Not saying the medication didn't help and work, but the New Age practices that I was taught without knowing just basically kept the demons there. I never felt like I could move forward. The music I listen to, you can get demons by certain music you listen to. I put that all behind. And so basically as a teenager, there was even a time that I believed it was very hard. I won't go into that. If anybody wants counseling or they feel this is familiar with them and they want to ask questions, I'm willing to answer personal questions if it's not traumatizing or overwhelming for anybody who wants to contact me. But over a video, I will not go into the most disturbing details. But anybody who wants to talk to me, I'm willing to talk to anyone. But basically, sexual abuse and torment and stuff also happened with demons. And so I got older and older, and I started to kind of get out of that. I started to, get away from the demons. I could still see and hear into the spirit realm. That kind of shut off for a while, and lately it's turned on again. But it's not like third eye thing. It's just more like an imagination, but very accurate imagination. And so I drank at I drank at like 19, a little bit early, but I had huge family problems. I still try to hold on to Jesus. I mean, I prayed to Him all the time, but I tried to live in both kingdoms, and I really struggled. Didn't feel like my family understood me. Didn't feel like they heard me. Didn't feel like they listened to me. Didn't feel like they cared, really. I still have painful memories from just feeling really excluded, not feeling welcome, not feeling like I belonged. And like I said, I'll put my email down on the last part. My email, my Instagram, my Skype, I'll put my information down on the last part of these videos. For anybody who has questions or ideas, I'm a non-judgmental. I don't judge people because I've been through a lot. But also I was being told that I was hallucinating, and I tried all these different medications, and I'm not saying against medications, but I went through that, hospitalizations, medications, inpatient, outpatient. It was really, and the demonic oppression was very heavy. I saw a Christian counselor. That didn't work because she didn't want to work with a doctor, so I was taken out of that. I don't know why, but so I really struggled with that as a teenager. Almost dated a Satanist, was attracted to unbelievers, almost dated unbelievers. I cut a lot as a teenager. I was a cutter. I would break glass and cut myself because of the guilt of some of the involvements I had with demons, some of the involvements I had, some of the things in my family, feeling like. So I was definitely, teenage years was really hard. But Jesus was faithful to me no matter how I wandered. And so stick around. So we've got birth, childhood, teen years, now young adult years and adult years. So, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's going to be 2 more parts. In total, there's going to be 5 parts to this. And on the 5th part, I will leave my contacts for anybody who wants help. Stick around.